Hello, welcome to the Matthew Alton Art channel again. Tonight I'm going to be doing a portrait sketch in the little Moleskin sketchbook that I bought in the Black Friday sales a couple of months ago. It's really for wet media, I think, but I'm going to be using a mechanical pencil, again with a 5B lead in it, a kneadable putty rubber to erase, a normal eraser maybe. I might also use an electric eraser, which I bought a while back, if I need any fine erasing points done. Okay, so let's see how we get on. I'm starting at the top of the head, as I often do, and just getting the shape of the hair in. It was quite a wide pose, this was, so I've turned the Moleskin Sketchbook on its side in the hope that I can go onto the facing side if I run out of space. I'm doing the usual, put an eye in first and then triangulate everything from that eye. So once the hair's in, I can work out where in relation to the hair and the parting and that sort of thing this eye sits, how big it is, that sort of thing. You'll see as I go through the video though that this strategy actually fails in this attempt. I've said in lots of my videos that I triangulate by checking relative positions, angles, distances, sizes, that sort of thing as I'm drawing. But this portrait went a bit awry. I obviously stopped checking where the hair and the eyes were in relation to the mouth and the end of the nose and that sort of thing, and the angles accurately, because it seems to become more and more stretched as I go down the page. So if you don't reference the things that you've put on first, you're in danger of referencing things that are wrong further down, and it becomes more wrong. So it's a very good example, this, of how the method that I use is fraught with danger if you don't check accurately. At this point, the portrait is of Stephen Fry, obviously. It is quite accurate, and it's quite a good likeness with just the eyes in, I think, anyway. But it's where I start the nose now that it starts to go a bit awry. I think the nose is too long compared to the reference that I've got. He's got a strange nose anyway because it's broken, and I think I've captured that well, but the nose is just too big. And then because the nose is too big, the mouth becomes too big because I'm only cross-checking against the nose at that point, not the eyes, which I should have been doing. But the joy of a sketchbook is that you can do these sketches to practice and work out what goes wrong when you do them and try and not do them in the future. So here you can see that the nose is a bit too big and a bit too bulbous, and therefore when I start putting other things in below that, like the mouth and the hand, there's a hand in this pose as well, they are too big. So it almost ends up looking like a caricature of Stephen Fry by the end of the process. It wasn't my intention to do that, and I've never sort of thought I could possibly do caricatures. I have enough trouble getting the actual accuracy and the likeness in a normal portrait, let alone exaggerating certain features. But I seem to have done that by accident here. Maybe I'll become a caricaturist in the future. Having said that it's a caricature, I'm not going to beat myself up about it not being perfect likeness. As I've said many times, as soon as you can ditch the idea that your portrait that you're drawing has to look exactly like the photograph that you're working on, or the person that's sitting in front of you indeed, then it sort of frees you up, and the mistakes don't matter, but you learn something from every mistake that you make. And I've learnt to make sure that I continue to cross-reference with the first things that I put on, which in this case was the hair and eyes. If I'd have done that, I'd have noticed that things were getting much bigger the further down the page that we went. I'd recommend anybody to do regular sketching. I don't mean just portraits, I mean whatever interests you, landscapes, cityscapes, urbanscapes, that sort of thing. It just hones your hand-eye coordination and your observation skills like nothing else, really. Regular practice. I like the drawing that I've created here, whether it's a caricature or not. I think it's quite successful. And another nice addition to the growing portfolio that's in this little Moleskin sketchbook. I put it on Facebook and most people could recognise that it was Stephen Fry, so the likeness ability is improving, which is the point of the repetition and practice. You can see that I'm holding the pencil quite far back and also sort of at an angle to the paper rather than like a pen, and that allows you to vary the pressure and be much more subtle with the pressure that you're putting on. I tried looking at a tutorial about the Loomis method of doing portraiture. It was a Raw Umber Studios session, and I've done a video recording of that, so I'll put that up as the next video probably on YouTube. But that seemed far more complicated than just referencing and triangulating as I do. I struggled to keep up with the actual method of doing the Loomis method, so I reverted to type and just did what I normally do. It may be useful when you're starting out as a scaffolding to build everything on, but I think if you've done quite a lot like I have and you're used to referencing shape, size, angle, relationships, I think that is a quicker and more intuitive way of working, I think, really. We're just about coming to the end, I think, now. Not much more left to go anyway. Just minor little refinements. Constantly looking at the reference photo and looking back at what I've actually done. It took about an hour and a quarter, I think, this one to do. So not too long, really. Really pleased with it. Well, this is the final drawing. I've pointed out the issues with it as I've gone through the video, really. It becomes more and more stretched and enlarged towards the bottom of the page. But if you actually hold your hand up sort of at the bridge of the nose, it's quite accurately Stephen Fry, I think, really. I hope you've enjoyed watching this, and I hope that it's useful to see the sort of, not mistakes, but the things that can go wrong when you're using the method that I've said in many of my videos to use when drawing portraits. Do keep checking the first things that you put on and your relationship, where they are in relation to the stuff that you work on later. And that's a bit what went wrong in this one. If I'd have worked out the angle from the corner of the eye to the bottom of the nose, for instance, I would have realised that the nose was too long, too big, those sorts of things. And then because I've done the nose too big and I've referenced just the nose rather than the eyes again, everything else becomes too big. I think you've got the point. Cross-reference everything that you've put on the page. Okay, well, if you have enjoyed the video, then give it a like and thumbs up. Do comment on the video as well. And if you're new here, then do subscribe. I'd love to grow the channel. And it seems that subscribers aren't growing very quickly at the moment, which is a shame. I'll also put some links in the description for the materials that I used at the Moleskin Sketchbook from Amazon. I'm an Amazon associate, so I do get a few pennies from each sale. If you click on the link and buy through that link, that would help the channel out as well. Okay, so I'll see you on the next one. Thanks. Bye.